Okay, good morning, Pastor James. How are you? I I just want to go over a few things real quick. Sorry we were unable to meet on a Zoom personally. I'm going to spend about 10, 12 minutes moving through this pretty quick. You might want to stop the video and grab a pen and paper because I am going to have some questions for you. Now, listen, Pastor Jeff was out there quite some time ago. And I could only imagine that this roof is in worse shape than the pictures that he had taken a while back. All righty. So eventually he's going to have to go back, but I don't want to incur the cost of sending him back if you don't already have other estimates from other quality roofing companies and you're just looking to hire a better company that's been around a lot longer, and we can do it 10 to 20% less than any other quality roofing company. We've been around for 35 years, and we're now closing in on completing our 10,000, yes, 10,000 churches. All right, with that being said, I hope you got that pen and paper. I got some quick questions for you. It's my understanding you want an estimate on all three roofs. Now we're going to estimate each roof three different ways, and I'm going to explain why in a moment, and each way. All right. First question I have, however, because I do not have good pictures or updated pictures of your HVAC system. So the first question is A, on each roof, is the HVAC still there? Second question, if it is there, is it raised? So, in other words, is there 3 or 4 inches underneath each HVAC equipment? I'm just trying to gauge whether or not we need to have you remove them prior to doing the install. Okay. Now I'm going to jump into some other pictures real quick. And as I said, these were taken quite some time ago. And as you can see, these pictures from a long time ago are very much compromised, particularly something like this. And again, I don't know which roof this is, but when you take a look at it, it's obviously very saturated. So my immediate summarization is that this particular roof would have to be removed and then replaced. All right, but I'm going to go through the three options just to kind of give you a ballpark number on how to figure out the price range with us on each option. Again, we've been doing this a long time, and it's always going to boil down to each roof can only be done one of three ways. The first way, we're going to expand this just a little bit. The first way is, and I'm assuming you can see my screen. Right here, replenish the top layer. Basically, what that means is doing a roof coating, as you can see in the picture. Now, we may or may not be able to do that on one or more of the roofs. If so, it's the least costly option. And I'm going to show you the cost in a moment. The drawback is it doesn't last as long as the other two options. And I'm going to send this document out to you as well. The second option, if you have less than 2 layers there now, we might be able to simply adhere another layer on top of your existing layer. Now, if your roof is saturated and you obviously need new insulation, this is not a good option. Okay, but we might be able to utilize this option. And we're really not going to know until Pastor Jeff goes back and does a core test. But I'm going to give you ballpark numbers that you can go by for all three of these options. Okay, that was the second option. Of course, the third option you're already aware of, and that's a complete tear off, which is typically the safest route, and that obviously lasts the longest. Okay? Now, here is the chart I was referring to. This is option one, the replenish in the left column. The middle column is the recover, which is basically means we put another layer over the existing layer. And then the third option in the third column to the right is the complete removal and replacement. So as you read down, we cover the ideal situations. What are the benefits? What are the drawbacks? And approximate cost. So on a replenishment coating, you're looking at anywhere from $2 to $5 per square foot. And that would depend on the number of applications. But again, we don't know if this is a viable option, simply due to the number of layers, or perhaps whether or not the roof is already saturated. Now, for a overlay, you're looking at $6 to $9 per square foot. And once again, we can only do that if there's less than 2 layers there now and it's not saturated. And meaning that you need new insulation underneath the layers. And then a complete tear off is anywhere from $9 to $16 a square foot. And once again, the disparity in pricing really boils down to what roof membrane you choose and the thickness of the new insulation underneath the membrane. Now, a quick way to find out your measurements, I can send you this measurement report. So for instance, your one flat roof has 2,100 square feet. So if you wanted to quickly calculate under each option, you just take 2,100 and you times that times $2 to $5 for a coating. So $2 times 2,100, and then $2 times $5, $5 times 2,100, and that's your price range for the roof coating. And you use that same theory. So this basically gives you a guideline, all right? And we could work up the pricing on each one of these scenarios. However, the exact pricing will be dependent on a re-inspection, and we'll be willing to do that after we know that you've already contacted 2 other roofing companies. All right? I hope you found this to be helpful. And by the way, you can go to our site and you can see recent Baptist church jobs we've done. okay, throughout New Jersey. All righty? All right, thanks, Pastor James. Have a great day.